Welcome back, and thank you for taking a keen interest in knowing more about the BizManager app. Today we are elaborating more on how today's section will help you track the business's cash and credit as you transact. We understand that in the real business world, buyers who purchase goods on credit may settle or partially settle their credit on the same day or any other day. When the above happens, the app will show you at the end of the day how much cash has been collected and how much is remaining as credit. When buyers who took credit on earlier days pay today, the cash collected from them will be displayed to you as you shall see. You should note that above only happens if you make adjustments to the unsettled credit section. For instance, if a buyer pays their credit and you do not make adjustments to their credit in the unsettled credit section, the app will not know about it and your records will not be updated. And this means that you have to record everything that happens throughout the day so that the app can also give you a full account. Leaving that aside, in this video, we are going to work with two categories. That is the home goods category and the clothing category. These are just examples, and when we expand each, you can see the products and product variations under each. Now let's start. Today, in our case, is Thursday, and no transactions have been made since morning. The cash, credit, and discount amounts are all still zeros. Now let's record our first transaction. A customer has stepped into our shop and they have selected different units. As you can see me entering them. When everything that the customer selected is recorded in the app, I proceed to the summary screen. Here, the units, subtotals, unit prices, and the final total are all displayed. If interested, you can pause the video and prove whether the subtotals and the final total are correct. Now, let's give this customer a 1% discount. As you can see, the final amount that the customer is required to pay is reduced from $6,301 US to $6,237 US. Although we have given this customer a discount, he's not paying all the money now. He is giving us $2,500 US in cash, and the remaining balance will settle later. For confidentiality purposes, let me name this customer AJ, and then finalize the transaction by clicking the confirm button. And this takes us to the home screen. So let's go to the transaction history section to check. So the detailed transaction record has been added as well. And this will happen to all the transactions that you make. You should note that because we did not enter the buyer's email and phone, not applicable or not available is displayed to us. Let's also check our performance for the entire week. As of now, some transactions have been canceled and the values updated, as you can see. This is the business's performance since Monday, and the moment the app presents you adjusted values, it's these that you should consider. Let's return to the sell screen and record another transaction since a new customer has arrived. You should remember that each time we record a transaction, the quantity in stock reduces by the units sold. This is why whenever we return to this screen, the units available will not be the same as before due to internal stock adjustments. After we have selected everything, let's navigate to the summary screen to view a summary of the entire order. And the total is 12,304 USD, and she's taking all the goods on credit. Now, when we finalize our transaction and navigate to the Today section, you can see that our cash is still 2,500 from the first transaction, but our credit has increased to $16,041.99 US. Our new transaction is also added to the transaction history records. Now, when we navigate to the weekly sales section, you can see that the accumulated values for revenue, costs of goods sold, and gross profit have also been adjusted. Let's record another transaction. In this case, the buyer is paying cash. When we finalize this transaction and navigate to the Today section, we can see that our cash has increased, the credit has remained the same, and the discount given since the day started has also increased. Now, buyer AJ has returned and is partially paying $1,000 US to reduce his credit. Let's navigate to the unsettled credit section and make the necessary adjustments. When we return to the Today section, you can see that the change reduces our current total credit and increases our cash as shown. Also, note what has happened. The original totals for current cash and credit have been canceled out. These canceled values show the total cash and total credit from the transactions we've made so far. Well, the new values show the cash credit movements, that is the actual total cash collected and the actual total credit. So long as buyers who took goods on credit settle or partially settle their credit on the same day, you will be able to see these cash and credit movements throughout the day. Now, if someone we've been demanding comes and settles or partially settles their credit today, the cash collected from them won't be added to the cash collected today, but will be displayed separately. Take an example. John, who took goods on the 2nd of February, is paying 520 USD on their outstanding 1,000 USD credit. The current credit balance is adjusted to $480 US because they have not fully settled yet. Now let's return to the Today section and observe what's happened. As you can see, the values from today's transactions have not changed, but a new row now displays the cash collected from older credits. This is useful, especially when you want to distinguish between the cash made today and that which came in from older transactions. For example, if supposing you were keeping all this cash in the same place, it would mean that the cash you have at this particular moment would be 36,071.00 USD plus 520 USD. This would be $36,591 USD. Now, if we did not display this cash separately, it would have been slightly hard for you to fully account for today's real cash collected, especially in cases where the business is receiving a lot of customers in a day. There are more benefits in addition to this feature, and we believe you will discover them as you utilize the app. Let's also see what would happen if buyer A.H., who took goods this morning, comes to, clear some of their credit. From their outstanding credit of $12,304 they are paying $2,304 and so we shall keep demanding them $10,000. When we return to the today section, you can see that since the buyer purchased goods today, the actual cash has increased by the $2,304 paid, while the total credit has reduced by the same amount. The cash collected from older credits has remained the same since no buyer from such a time frame has come in yet to clear. As more and more buyers settle credit today, the cash collected from them will be displayed to you as above. Now, let's record another transaction because the day has just started and more buyers are still coming into our shop. This one is paying $22,000 in cash out of their entire order, amount of $45,754.60. The balance will be computed and registered as the credit. When we return to the today section, we can see that cash and credit have been adjusted in all cases. You can use your calculator to prove the accuracy of these values. You can also enter practice or mock products into the app and try making transactions while observing cash and credit movements as above. And this will help you gain confidence in the app. So in case something does not add up, take screenshots and share them with us via email. We will surely review it and get back to you as soon as we can. Now, our recent transaction has also been added to the records. Also, buyer RC has been added to the list of buyers with credit. There is more that we could share with you in this video, but briefly, that is how the today section works. Now, let me show you what would happen if buyers begin to cancel their orders, as this could happen to any business. This is our performance since the beginning of the week. However, you will notice the changes when we start recording canceled transactions. These are our current cash and credit records before any user has canceled their order. Having said that, let's begin by canceling the transaction we first made at the beginning of the day. And since we are canceling the entire order, we input all the units as returned. And also we cancel all the cash, discount, and outstanding credit. But before I press confirm, let me show you what our current stock is so that we can prove whether records will be updated after cancellation or not. We currently have 150 units of table lamps, 185 units of floor lamps, 230 units of pendant lamps, 382 units of big size padlocks, 380 units of medium size padlocks, 370 units of small size padlocks, and 650 units of V-neck t-shirts. Please do not wonder about such a shop These have been entered as examples only. Just get the idea and apply it to your own shop. Okay, so having noted down our current stock levels, let's proceed to cancel the first transaction. Let's enter all the units. Now, when we click confirm, the returned units will be added back to the existing stock and our cash and credit will be adjusted. See, cash has been reduced from $60,375 US to $56,875 US because we refunded $3,500 US to the buyer. Outstanding credit has been reduced from $492.59 US to $33,754.60 US because we no longer demand this buyer. Now let's look at the stock. Table lamps have increased from 150 units to 165.5 units because 15.5 units were returned. All the other product variants have also been adjusted as well. You can see cash and credit have been adjusted and stock has been adjusted as well. Let me proceed to cancel more. You should notice the changes in cash, credit, and stock. Let's cancel the remaining transaction, and I want you to notice something here. Although this was purely a credit transaction amounting to $12,304 USD, at first the buyer had paid us cash of $2,304. That is why you are seeing the cash collected being $2,304 USD and credit to cancel as 10,000 USD. So in simple terms, this cancellation dialog will always display updated values and not values from the time the transaction was made. Take an example. If the buyer previously took goods worth $1,000 on credit and later came and settled that credit and now they want to cancel their order, the dialog will show cash to refund as $1,000 and credit to cancel as $0 because the buyer had settled their credit. This may not apply to real-world cases, as it is sometimes difficult to encounter such scenarios. Your business may as well have a disclaimer like goods once sold can't be returned, and in such case you may hardly reach the extent of canceling older transactions as above. However, in case you encounter them, the app has you covered. Now that our remaining transaction has been canceled, let's navigate to the Today section to see our values. Oops, we have zeros only, and it's like the day hasn't started yet. We only have the 520 USD collected from an older transaction. Again, this is a rare but possible case where all the buyers you sold goods to cancel their orders. And let's check our weekly performance. As you can see that the values have been adjusted as well. They are not zeros because this contains the data for the previous days. That is data for transactions made from Monday to Wednesday. From the list of buyers with credit, you can also see that no buyer who took goods today is on the list. Because their transactions have been canceled, their credit records have also been removed from the list. Only those buyers with active credit are still left. Now let's record another transaction. As you can see, it's like we have started all over. Again, recording new cash and credit. So from the transaction records, this transaction is also recorded. Now, supposing this buyer later comes and settles their credit fully, observe what would happen. See, we no longer demand them, and we have all the full amount as cash now. What if a buyer will older credit also settles partially? Take the example of John, who later comes and pays $1,500 when we return to the today screen. Cash from today's transactions is still $4,780 but cash from older transactions has increased from $520 to $2,020. Briefly, that is how the features explored in this video work. In case you have a question or any other inquiry, leave it in the comments section. We will definitely respond to it as soon as we can. Thanks for watching.